Before the first bite, I want to get really super specific about the exact details of each bite I'm about to take. I want a super vivid pre-meal preview. Today, I'm going to review some exotic tacos from Tacos CDMX in Westwood, New Jersey. CDMX stands for Ciudad de Mexico, aka Mexico City, so these are Mexican tacos. It's mostly Mexicans working there, which is always a positive sign. The spot is probably a little bit pricier than some other joints, but you kind of get what you pay in this area. This area being Northern Jersey. While they do sell traditional tacos and quesadillas like pollo, chorizo, al pastor, like the standard ones that everyone's familiar with, I want some offals today. Offals being like innards, organs, stuff like that. I'm in the mood for something off the beaten path. I want the offals cleaned super well, but I want the flavor to be just absolutely dirty. Like so dirty. I'm going to get the beef tongue and the tripe, which is stomach lining. I'm expecting the lingua or tongue to be a fattier meat, but still have a lot of bite in it. It's about the same fat concentration as ribeye, which is one of the more fattier cuts of steak. I'm also looking forward to like taking a huge chomp, like a huge bite of the taco, and just really get the initial explosion of meaty flavor. And then as I chew and chew on that bite, I want the flavor to just build and build. Man, my mouth is just like watering talking about this. With many like fatty meats, think like Wagyu and stuff, generally the experience is like having the meat melt in your mouth. But in this case, I'm kind of expecting to kind of work for it, right? I want to work for the flavor as I chew through it. I don't want to just like bite into it and have the meat disappear and just have the fat hit my, you know, sensors on my tongue. The texture of the tongue makes it so that the fat hits your mouth just differently. Like it's not the same as eating like ribeye, which has the same fat concentration. It just hits it so differently, and I personally find it extremely satisfying. Tripe, on the other hand, should be a little bit slicker and break down easier upon contact. I've had tripe a few times, actually many times in Asian dishes, and it generally has a earthy umami flavor. Since it's a taco, I'm hoping, it's grilling it and along the edges there are slightly burnt crispy edges, and that like always hits so well. Some people might think the tripe is a bit rubbery in texture, but I've actually never had that impression in all the years of I've eaten tripe. So it may just be a subjective thing. What I love about tacos, well, one, it's just super dank, and I love that they exist. Two, I think they all actually offer a lot of variety, not in the way you might think. Not just in options of like meat, right? But actually, I think the lime juice, cilantro, onions, tortilla can all kind of be customized to give you a different experience, like bite to bite. Like actually, bite to bite, you can kind of choose your own venture, and I think that's pretty cool. I like how tacos is a messy thing. It makes me feel so involved in the meal, and it's just always a good time. Who doesn't like taco? Like the term Taco Tuesdays exists for a reason, right? You might be in the middle of chewing through a mouthful of like beef tongue, right, or whatever, and then you have some onion that gets crushed underneath your molars, and all of a sudden it's a small injection of like acid, right, and that just enhances the flavor in real time. So I'm saying like actually take a big bite, right, on chew number one, two, three, four, like maybe on the sixth chew, it's like oh wow, like the flavor shifts a little bit. You're just like invigorated. You're ready to go more. I always want to keep stuffing myself when it comes to tacos. Everything kind of just builds upon everything else in terms of like ingredients and composition of the taco. And this is even before we get into all the salsa options or sauces and things like that. Offals in particular, I think just offer textures that can't be replicated anywhere else. Like there's nothing like organ meat. Obviously, some people find it repulsive, and to those people, I say, good for you. Let's keep the prices low. Some of you may not know this, but at one point, sushi was actually a cheap street food in Japan, right? It wasn't seen as this high-end food. And now, like a random omakase in New York is like $150. So I'm here for the offals. I want all the other ingredients to just be fresh, so nothing detracts from the flavor and texture of the tongue and tripe. Okay, I'm watering. My mouth is watering. That's enough for yapping. Let's get down to munching. So here's the food. 3 tacos of tripe, relatively large actually. Looks absolutely delicious. Here's the 3 beef tongue. There we put a generous amount of meat, guac, and some chips. Alright, let the munching begin. Okay, chips first. Okay, here we go. The chips were so much more beyond anything I anticipated. They're just the perfect amount of crunchiness. Like the amount of force I have to use in each bite to break apart the chips and the way it breaks apart is just perfect. Like actually out of everything I had today, the chips was the most exceptional. The guac, on the other hand, was kind of standard. There's nothing bad about it. It was kind of what I expected. But as you can see, one, I like to scoop a lot of guac per chip. And the other thing is, in my entire life, I always felt every guac I had outside of my own house doesn't have enough onions. I always want them to put more onions, but that's probably a subjective preference on my part. So here I'm testing out the tripe. The tripe is fatty as I anticipated. It has a lot of good flavor. The texture is more or less in line with the other tripe dishes I've had. At this point, I'm pretty excited about having this taco in terms of big bites. I expect to chomp down. The flavor is incredible. I look very serious in my mind, but I think I'm just locked in to eat more than anything else. Like I'm in a very good mood, even if you can't tell from my facial expressions. Here I'm adding some lime. I definitely felt like adding the acidity helps a lot. I think some people add lime just because it's presented to them, but I think in this case, the lime adds a lot more flavor. It brings out the flavor that's already there. So tacos comes with 2 tortillas, right? A lot of places it comes with 2 tortillas, same as here. The reason they do this is actually you're supposed to pull one above, and the fallouts, because taco is a very messy dish, you can actually use the second tortilla to build the second taco and eat it. So that's why there's 2 tortillas. Obviously, if you want, you can just eat it double wrapped, but I prefer pulling it out. It gets very messy, and the other tortillas, I can save some carbs and also build the second taco. Wow, I just wolfed that down in 2 bites. They put a lot of meat in it, but I just felt 2 bites is what made me the happiest. Again, you can't tell from my facial expressions, but I am extremely ecstatic right now. Like mixing some chips in between. Even while eating tacos, I can't help but go back and think about how great the chips were. Like the chips are just absolutely amazing. Here we're about to go back for the second taco. I kind of know what I'm getting. Oh, I tried the radish. The radish is pretty straightforward. It's pretty standard. I'm vibing to the music, and here is the spicy crema. The crema has more of a kick than I thought it would, and it's a great kick. It cuts through the fat a lot of the tripe, and as it goes into my mouth, I feel like it really brings everything together. Like this bite is definitely explosive more than anything else. The best way to describe this bite I'm taking with the crema that it's explosive. It's spicy, but then I'm chewing through the tripe, but I'm also feeling the onions and cilantro, and the tortilla is very well done. Mexicans know how to use their corn. I think the chips are made from corn as well, but the tortilla and the corn, both excellent utilization of the corn. Both the chips and the tortilla are excellent utilizations of the corn. Here, I take a bite of the cucumber just to see how it is. Very not necessary. I actually don't think the cucumber and the radish do that much for me in terms of cleansing the palate, but it might also be because I'm just stuffing so much tripe in my mouth with each bite. Looking this back, I'm surprised how serious my face looks throughout this, even though I was having a great time. Yep, big bite. Having the big bite, I think, is crucial. Like, the flavor just builds so much because I'm putting so much food in my mouth at once as I'm chewing through it. Like, I'm getting different combinations of, like, the tortilla, the cilantro, the onion. Here, I add a little bit of crema. I actually think it's amazing without the crema, but it's also amazing with it. I actually can't tell which option I prefer. But here, a few minutes have gone by. I've wolfed down 3 tacos. Each of these tacos are $4, which is a little bit on the pricier side, but you kind of get what you pay for. I feel like given the amount of meat they put in, I'm pretty satisfied with everything. The guac was $12, which I think is pricier than I would like. I don't think I get the guac again. I think I would just get the chips in isolation, and I would be happy to even take the chips home as like a takeaway. So here I finish everything up with the tripe. And here we enter the portion about with eating the tongue, the beef tongue. So one thing after eating tripe, I was fairly confident the beef tongue wouldn't hit as hard, right? I was like, yo, the tripe already slapped. The beef tongue can't slap that much harder, right? And I actually think I'm wrong. I think the beef tongue is, for me, more preferable to the tripe. And the tripe was really good. Like, I have no complaints about the tripe. But the beef tongue was so much more tender than I thought. Like, what a unique texture of blending in tenderness in the meat while maintaining, like, bite. Like, you still have to chew through it, but it's still so tender. It doesn't melt away. It has so much substance. And I actually I enjoy the beef tongue much more. Here you see me struggling pulling out the taco. But again, massive bite, right? Massive bite first and foremost. I feel like they put more beef tongue than tripe in terms of like volume. These tacos are also $4 a piece. So in total, 6 tacos was 4 times 6, $24, which is not cheap, but this is in a pretty bougie area, and all the food in this area is kind of on the pricier side. But I was pretty satisfied with everything because they put so much meat in it. I think if they skimped on that part, it was just a lot of tortilla, cilantro, and onions, I would have been a little bit annoyed. But that did not happen. This was an excellent experience. So one thing about this beef tongue, I kept on thinking about it as I was eating through this. It was it was it was delicious but also confusing because I was the whole time I was like, how are they getting this to be? They made this on a grill, right? But how is this so tender? Juice is oozing everywhere. It's juicier than the tripe, but also, wow, so much juice came out. Maybe you can't tell my left hand or the right hand on the screen, but my actual left hand. But so much juice oozed out as I took that bite. But yeah, the beef tongue is so tender but has so much bite. As I'm chewing through it, the flavor builds much more than the tripe in my opinion. Like it's very clear what I'm eating, and then as the juice is squeezing out, it felt so juicy. And I think and this time they came in with the green salsa, and the green salsa I think added a lot to it. It added like an earthy or herbal scent to it. I mean, it's salsa, right? Like it really opened up the flavor. I think each accessory in the taco was necessary. They all added more to the taco. The onions, the cilantro, and then the salsa as well. Like they all added more to the flavor. Everything built around the beef tongue, even the tortilla. And I also feel taking only one tortilla, like so it comes with 2 tortillas per taco, taking one out actually made the ratio much better for me. Like, cause I'm mainly there to eat the meat inside, right? So I think having 2 tortillas, the ratio might have been a little bit off for me, but one, wow, I really didn't notice. I just went through each taco with 2 bites. I'm somewhat impressed with myself, but I was hungry. This was my first meal of the day, and everything was super delicious. Here, I'm about to make a second taco, well, a seventh taco with the leftovers, the things that spilled out. The beef tongue falls out more easily than the tripe, so there's kind of a lot of spillover. And I also think they put in more meat. But I actually relocate and actually put it to the tortilla that had the most juice that fall into it, just for maximum flavor. Add some crema, still delicious. I think What I like about this experience at Tacos CDMX is that the offals were the MVP. There's no doubt. I think you can make an argument the chips were the best relative to expectations, but in terms of pure deliciousness, what I enjoyed the most were the offals. The tripe followed by the beef tongue. If I had to choose one, I think the beef tongue was more preferable for me, but maybe some people prefer the tripe more. Here you see me pulling apart the tortilla just to show you how stretchy or how much hold it has. It doesn't break apart easily, has a lot of fragrant flavor, and I am just scooping in the guac. I'm also enjoying how I feel like this taco is the right amount of messiness. It's messy enough that I'm enjoying myself, but not everything's like falling apart. I can still get the food in my mouth without much effort. And overall, just a great time. I can't believe my face has been so serious throughout this entire experience. Even the whole time, I was like a 6 year old at his own birthday party in my mind. I really enjoyed every part of this. Maybe the cucumber and the radish weren't really necessary, but the tacos were so good. I'm definitely gonna come back. Definitely get more tacos. I've tried the chicken and other things here. They're a little bit cheaper. I think they're like 350, maybe a little 375 or something like that. But I think the offals really hit it out of the park. It was exotic. It's a little bit something different than what I'm used to, and I had a great time. Wow, even my cleanup process is so serious. But yeah, I think in terms of above expectations, the chip will be first place. And in terms of overall, like what I like the most, I definitely like the beef tongue tacos the most, followed by the tripe. But nothing was bad. Like this entire experience, the whole time I'm filming this, I'm just having the time of my life. Like everything's great. This is like stuff like this makes me love Mexican food. Like some people might think it's not like super authentic or whatever, but every ingredient was fresh. They put a lot of care and effort in making it. I can tell from the way they made the chips and the tortilla. And yeah, I'm genuinely grateful that nearby there's a spot like this. Here I am thinking I'm clever using a cucumber to scoop some guac into this tortilla. I didn't want to waste all the tortilla. I don't want to eat all of it either, but definitely wanted to finish the guac. I think I add some chips in as well for texture. Corn on corn with some guac in between. This was also pretty good, but the offals was just incomparable. And I think I'm very grateful that I feel like I got exactly what I was looking for. I got everything I expected, and I also think they executed a level that I didn't expect, as in they went above and beyond with the execution. I definitely think there was no part of either type of taco that was like unclean. Like they cleaned it very well. The meat was very well seasoned, and it was super balanced. Like there wasn't a portion that was like too salty or too chewy. And I thought that might be the case with the tongue. I thought part of it might be overcooked or undercooked, but there was none of that. Everything was very well balanced, and all the accessories really centered around the star, which was the meat, right? Like both types of tacos, they really they really delivered by adding to the value of the meat itself. Like having the cilantro, having the onion, all of it was amazing. So yeah, here I just gonna finish up the chips and clean out the table and be on my way out. This was just a great experience. This was like a great mukbang. I came in, I feasted. I'm gonna leave very satisfied. Six tacos was just the right amount. I'm kind of glad I didn't get more, even though in this moment I'm kind of wishing I did. But it was just the right amount. In like 30 minutes or an hour or so, I'm gonna feel decently full, satisfied, and just can't have a bad day after this. Honestly, can this is just a great way to start the day. All right, I'm out. See you guys next time.